This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The busy morning traffic peak has seen a tragic crash, killing a 33-year-old woman. Her car was travelling along the Domain Highway in Hobart when police say it crossed to the wrong side of the road, colliding head-on with a truck. Investigators say it's too early to determine what caused the crash.
The Domain Highway became a scene of tragedy at 7 o'clock this morning. A car severely damaged by the force of the crash after police say it crossed to the wrong side of the road and into the path of an oncoming truck.
It appears from initial investigations that as the driver of the Toyota negotiated an open left-hand curve in the road, the car has veered onto the wrong side of the road.
A 33-year-old woman from Moona was driving the car. A passerby attempted to give her CPR, but she couldn't be saved. Investigators were left with the job of piecing together how this crash happened. Speed is not believed to be a factor.
It's too early of our investigation, actually determine the reason for that, and that will be reported to the coroner.
The transport company involved says it offers its condolences to those affected by the crash. SRT Logistics says the truck driver is being offered all assistance.
It was fortunate that he wasn't injured. He was conveyed to the Royal Hobart Hospital for observation and was released soon after. As could be expected, he is visibly shaken.
Traffic diversions on both sides of the scene were in place for several hours from 7 o'clock this morning, causing extensive delays across the Tasman Bridge during the morning peak.
Obviously the scene had to be isolated for a complete examination to occur, and yes, it did hold up traffic coming into Hobart.
Police thanking motorists for their patience as emergency crews worked on the scene and cleared the wreckage, with the road eventually reopened at 1 p.m. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
The Tasmanian Liberal Party is again under fire for its social media campaigning, just days after an online post was found to breach the Electoral Act. A separate post by the party targeting the Pembroke by-election has caused controversy, as the Greens announced their election candidate.
A new contender for the Pembroke by-election, Hobart City Council Alderman Bill Harvey to peddle an anti-poker machine campaign.
We've got to think about the growing community of interest in getting rid of poker machines. There's a huge groundswell across Tasmania and in Pembroke as well.
Standing on the site of a gaming venue now caught in the middle of political gunfire. This post by the Liberal candidate pitching the Shoreline Hotel as closed if poker machines were removed from its venue.
A lot of them are getting sick of the innuendo and the lies that are being put out there. Some of these political parties, what we'd like to see is actually have them come and sit down with us and our members and have a chat.
But the party is standing by the post despite no consultation with the venue owners or operators.
It's a statement of fact. If a business has built its business model around gaming, then it is at risk.
We're standing here at a venue that is building, construction, and only 10% of their revenue comes from poker machines.
The businesses today have been more affected by some of the comments that have been put online about their business models and how they run their business, and some of it is quite highly offensive, and some of the stuff that goes on social media is quite offensive.
Pressure mounting on the Labor candidate as the polling date looms.
She should be given the opportunity to articulate a Labor position when she's talking to people in this community.
I haven't come across one single person who's raised poker machines with me during this election campaign.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The state government has announced plans to ban lottery outcome wagering. The practice, also known as synthetic lotteries, sees players bet on the numbers drawn without entering the lottery itself.
This news agency at La Trobe is one of 92 outlets authorised to sell lottery tickets.
We're doing okay, yes. We seem to be going along quite strong and we hope to keep it that way. Yeah, we prefer to see people faces rather than, people buying them online.
The sector generates around $30 million a year in tax revenue for Tasmania. But the News Agency Association says local businesses like this are under threat from lottery wagering.
Lotteries are still a really important part of their business. Obviously, they have strong connections with their local community. They employ a lot of people in Tasmania. They employ 500 people in Tasmania.
Instead of entering the official draw, players in a so-called synthetic lottery are betting on the outcome of draws through a third-party business. The government says it will ban the practice.
Our government sees that there is confusion potentially in the market. There is the trap that people who think they're buying a lotto ticket are in fact getting involved in a far less regulated form of gambling.
News agencies across the state rely heavily on Tats Lotto. It's a major traffic driver, contributing to about 35% of their business.
We applaud the government's plans. We think it's really important that they've come out and made this decision today. They've been very decisive about putting in additional protections.
In a statement, Lottoland CEO Luke Brill asks the government to tax them rather than ban them. They say they are open to working with news agents on different models. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Local business groups are welcoming a federal court decision to uphold penalty rate cuts, but unions say it will badly affect Tasmanian workers. Union groups turned out for a snap rally in response to the decision. There are 45,000 people employed in Tasmania's retail, accommodation and food services industries.
It's absolutely ridiculous to be cutting pay at a time when our hospitality and tourism sector is booming. We are seeing employer groups calling out for more hospitality workers.
The Small Business Council says the decision may allow some operators to hire new employees or offer more hours. The rollout of a multi-million-dollar emergency dispatch system has reached a milestone, with the technology now online for Tasmania Police. The new system is helping coordinate resources for a quicker response time, with all emergency services to be upgraded by next year.
Described as cutting-edge technology, the new emergency dispatch system a long time coming for Tasmania Police.
Previous technology, I think, was introduced in 1989. It's no longer serviceable.
The system helps coordinate resources quickly, providing quality information during critical times.
A lot of the incidents we go to are dynamic, and our officers having the most information they possibly can, they can make good operational decisions for their own safety and the safety of the public.
The $17 million upgrade will soon be rolled out across all emergency services, set to create a streamlined response through information sharing, most importantly during large-scale emergency events such as bushfires.
Where we've previously had phone call to share that information, now it'll be live, it'll be shared across the platform.
But as the bushfire season approaches, the Tasmanian Fire Service will hold off on the upgrade.
We were anticipating that we could go live before the fire season, but we wanted to make sure our people are prepared and in place and have the necessary skills to roll it out.
You need them to be at the very highest operational capacity. In that, you wouldn't want to be trialling a new system this close to a fire season.
The TFS and SES will come online in March. Ambulance Tasmania is beginning its rollout tomorrow. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The owner of a Claremont pizza shop targeted by an arson attack yesterday says he's been overwhelmed by community support. A fundraising page has been set up to help rebuild the business, which locals say was a pillar of the community.
Boarded up windows are all that's left of Dino's pizza shop today. The popular business, the subject of yesterday's targeted arson attack, damaged beyond repair, leaving the owner questioning his future.
It really is horrible. I worked so hard to build it to where I am now, just to be gone in one night.
Due to a loophole in the business's insurance policy, the contents weren't insured.
It's my livelihood. Yeah, still in shock.
Not just Stephen and the staff and everything, it's the whole community that have lost.
The community is already rallying around, determined to help bring the business back to its feet. A fundraising page on social media has already raised more than $1,000.
We'll do anything we can to support him. I mean, I know that I'm prepared to volunteer for him. I know Peter would be as well.
We're going to have a barbecue on Monday, and hopefully we might sell a couple of sausages and donate them to Dino's himself.
The businesses next door to Dino's Pizza have been forced to close due to the smoke damage caused by the extensive blaze. It isn't known when they'll reopen.
It's a huge burden. That we support each other. The pizza shop, we buy things from the takeaway shop buys pizzas.
It's not just Dino's affected, it's good friends in shops in the building.
They've wasted their time. It'll just make us stronger. We are a family.
Investigations are continuing. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian charity Speak Up, Stay Chatty is going on a mission to Antarctica. A key piece of equipment to be used on the icy continent has been given a special paint job, promoting the message of how we can all help with mental health issues.
It's an unusual sight in Tasmania. The founder of Speak Up, Stay Chatty today chauffeured in a Hagland vehicle. The all-terrain vehicle especially decked out with a paint job featuring the charity's logo.
It highlights the importance of mental health right across Australia and the world.
This vehicle, designed for snow transport, is soon to head off on its own journey to Davis Station in Antarctica.
You're in a small community of, say, 16 to 25 people, and we all look after each other, and that's what Speak Up, Stay Chatty is all about.
The partnership between the Australian Antarctic Division and Speak Up, Stay Chatty is designed to promote the fact mental health issues can affect anyone on any corner of the globe.
Always be a reminder that they can speak up to a friend or a family member if they're struggling, but also to be on the lookout for those around them.
With the spotlight firmly on mental health this week, a pre-Movember event in Hobart tonight is designed to encourage men to speak out if they're doing it tough.
We know that around half of Aussie men will experience a mental health challenge at some stage of their life, and at the extreme end that can lead to suicide at really alarming rates.
And let's make it acceptable for men to, one, be able to talk about their feelings, their emotions, but let's make it acceptable that they can do that and have those conversations with whoever it may be.
And the last couple of years we've been the highest fundraising Movember team in Australia, so we're looking to do that again.
If you're experiencing trouble, contact Lifeline. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Investor confidence appears to be booming across Tasmania, with $800 million worth of development on the books for Launceston alone. Concept images of two new multi-million-dollar developments have this week been released, and those behind the projects want them off the ground as soon as possible.
Across Launceston, tradies are hard at work, and it seems things will soon get even busier.
Certainly Hobart has had a great run, and now I think it's Launceston's turn.
Joseph Cromie and the JAC Group are behind the proposed new Gorge Hotel. The development includes 140 rooms, a restaurant and function centre.
It'll be about a $50 million project for Launceston, and very exciting. The facade of it is tessellated, so it looks like the cliffs of the gorge.
Before the build goes ahead, an area rezoning will need to be approved by council, as the hotel height is close to 40 metres. The JAC Group will submit an application for that before Christmas. If it passes, a construction application will then be submitted early next year.
We're aiming for to have the project finished by mid-2020. It'll be about a 2-year build. Joe Cromie's 90th birthday is towards the end of 2020, so we want to make sure that it's built by then.
There's also future plans for a gorge cable car to run from the top of the building. Across town, 2 cottages in Boland Street that have been derelict for 25 years are set to undergo a $4 million makeover, transforming into 30 apartments. Architect firm S Group says it's tried to use the existing building in its design that's today been put out for feedback.
We've retained the old walls where we can, and then to add just a little bit of more texture to the building facade, we've included some plantings as well.
Both projects come as work progresses at the Silo Hotel, the CH Smith site and the University of Tasmania relocation. The $800 million of work in the pipeline is expected to keep hundreds of Tasmanians employed for at least the next 5 years. Some even believe the developments could increase property prices.
It really is wonderful to see that developers see Launceston as a city of opportunity, and I'd urge our community to embrace it and see it as a glass half full opportunity.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Burnie has welcomed the Sun Princess as part of the 2017-18 cruise ship season. It's the first ship to dock on the coast, bringing close to 3,000 passengers and crew into the port of Burnie. Passengers disembarking at around 9 a.m. this morning. Visitors were greeted by locals and the Mayor, Anita Dow. The state will host 130 port visits this season. Around 12,000 Tasmanians are expected to turn out this weekend for this year's Leisure Fest Roadshow at Macquarie Point. The event, known as Australia's biggest recreational expo, will showcase the latest luxury motorhomes, boats and cars.
We've got all the major Tasmanian dealers here, from Launceston, Hobart, all around. They're all here, and you can compare all the different brands in one place.
It heralds a really exciting couple of months ahead of us. We have the Tasmanian Theatre Company opening up in the Goods Shed at the end of this month.
Leisure Fest gets underway on Friday. Tasmanian infant formula company Bellamy's has been forced to pay a $66,000 fine for allegedly failing to warn the Australian stock market about revenue changes. ASIC says Bellamy's breached its continuous disclosure obligations between October 18 and December 2 last year. It was in December when Bellamy's shares dropped drastically. Despite paying the fine, the company maintains it did not breach its obligation. Its shares rose today by around 7%.
Good evening. Hobart, 21 degrees today. Launceston reached 20. Burnie and Devonport alarmingly cooler at 15. 23 was the high at Low Rocky Point, with above average temperatures in the west and south, some up by 7 degrees above average. The forecast rain has taken its time arriving, with just 2 mils the top fall to 3 o'clock on King Island. Strawn 22 degrees, Bushy Park and Grove 20, Flinders Island 19, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 18, King Island 16 today, Low Head and Wynyard 15. The cloud band associated with the front approached Tasmania while extending over Victoria and South and Central Australia. Behind that system, the cellular mass indicates colder air. Some low cloud this morning ahead of the frontal cloud that gradually made its way our way. Tomorrow, the front pushes off to the east with a westerly flow remaining over the state, a weak front away to the southwest. The high dominates most of the mainland. The westerly winds, as strong as 25 to 35 knots, will tend northwesterly and increase to 30 to 40 knots in the early afternoon. Swells to 3.5 metres. Gale warning for waters from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape. A strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters. Small craft wind alert for the lakes. A flood watch for all north-eastern river basins. A shower or two and windy for Hobart, 17 the top, 16 for Cygnet tomorrow, 17 for New Norfolk. Similar forecast for all three. Similar forecast for Launceston as well, 16 the top, 15 for Devonport, a windy afternoon, becoming windy too for Campbelltown with a shower or two and 17. Burnie, showers and wind, 15, 14 the top for Strawn, Smithton 15, and for the east, a shower or two, 18 the top for St Helens, Swansea 19 and Fingal 17 degrees. UV mostly on the moderate side of things tomorrow. On Friday, showers over the west and far south, easing in the evening. Fine on Saturday, apart from a light shower over the west in the evening. Another light shower over the west and far south on Sunday with westerly winds easing. Sunny in Perth, a possible shower for Adelaide and Melbourne. Morning rain over Canberra and Sydney. Showers also for Brisbane. Showery now, Hobart, 18 degrees at the moment, 16 with rain falling over Launceston and 13 in Devonport. Now, Joe, you and I are going out tonight to see who's going to be crowned the best employee for Southern Cross Television for the year. I reckon you're a shoo-in.
I saw you practising your speech. Thanks, Murph. Well, that's all from the news team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.